After Maduro's capture, Trump turned his gaze toward Iran amid explosive street protests, raising questions about whether Washington might attempt similar pressure on Tehran. On January 13, Trump warned that Iran would pay a big price for killing protesters, signaling that further repression could trigger a U.S. response. The president urged Iranians to keep protesting, adding that help is on the way, in comments that appeared aimed directly at demonstrators on the streets. The unrest is Iran's largest since the 1979 revolution, with death tolls estimated at around 12,000, according to Iran International. However, a Maduro-style operation in Iran may be far harder for the United States to carry out, given Tehran's military posture and geography. Maduro's fall hinged on Venezuela's hollow, badly maintained air defenses and deep-rooted corruption, according to analysis cited by the South China Morning Post. Russian-made S-300VM and Buk M2E systems that were reportedly blinded by jamming and precision strikes that neutralized key radars. Those radars were said to be poorly networked and in some cases not fully operational for years, leaving major gaps in coverage. Weak Venezuelan defenses let U.S. Special Forces operate over Caracas with minimal resistance during the raid. Unlike Caracas's thin shield, Iran fields layered Russian, Chinese, and indigenous air defense systems across its territory. Iran now operates Russian S-300, newer S-400, and China's HQ-9B long-range missile systems, giving it far greater reach and density. Iranian MP Abolfazl Zoravand has said HQ-9 and S-400 systems were supplied in significant numbers, according to Iranian media. Zoravand said, and I quote, "Russian MiG-29 jets have arrived, and Su-35 fighters are also on the way. China's HQ-9 and Russia's S-400 systems are being supplied in significant numbers." Unquote. HQ-9B's range is estimated at about 300 kilometers with Mach 4 speed and semi-active radar guidance, as reported by SCMP. Iran also deploys its indigenous Bavar 373 system, whose range has been upgraded to above 300 kilometers, according to local claims. Tehran reportedly built this layered defense after Israeli strikes destroyed key sites during the June 2025 war. On January 14, Iran's Revolutionary Guard said missile stockpiles have risen since the war with Israel, highlighting continued buildup. IRGC commander Majid Musavi told state media that Iran is at the peak of readiness for any confrontation. Iran is estimated to hold about 2,000 heavy ballistic missiles, according to figures cited by The Guardian. Key missile bases reportedly remain buried in mountains, making fully effective preemptive strikes extremely difficult. Unlike in 2025, the US currently has no aircraft carriers stationed in the Gulf, according to The Guardian's reporting on force posture. USS Gerald R. Ford has been sent to the Caribbean, while USS Nimitz is back at a US port undergoing turnaround. Hence, any strike on Iran would need access to bases in Qatar, the UAE, Bahrain, Iraq, Oman, or Saudi Arabia for sustained operations. Iran has already warned that US bases and their host nations would be legitimate targets if Washington attacks its territory. The US reportedly has about 40,000 troops spread across the region, exposing them to significant retaliation risk. Long-range B-2 bomber strikes from outside the region are possible but seen as urban overkill, according to The Guardian's assessment. Trump has already ruled out boots on the ground, further limiting the menu of military options under consideration. Precision strikes could target IRGC bases, leadership compounds, radars, or missile batteries to punish the regime. But protests and crackdowns stretch across many cities, making pro-protester targeting murky and operationally complex. Urban strikes risk civilian casualties and scenes that Tehran can exploit as proof of US malice and foreign interference. Iran's history with the 1953 coup makes any new US attack a ready rallying cry for the regime to rally nationalist sentiment. Any cyber options like power cuts or service disruption could hurt ordinary Iranians more than the leadership's security apparatus. Restoring the internet or flooding Iran with systems like Starlink would expose repression, but cannot stop bullets or prison vans. A Maduro-style snatch operation in Tehran would be vastly harder than in Caracas, analysts note. Tehran lies hundreds of miles from the nearest borders, deep inside layered air defenses, as The Guardian has described. A direct attempt to kill Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is militarily simpler than capturing him but politically explosive and escalatory. Iran has already prepared succession plans to prevent regime collapse if the supreme leader is killed in any strike. Hence, in public, Trump vows very strong action if Iran hangs protesters and talks tough about possible strikes. But in practice, degraded US regional posture, Iran's reinforced defenses, and massive escalation risks all sharply narrow Washington's options.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry guards.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.